Hey beloved, welcome to your Pep Talk for now. I'm so glad you've decided to join me. So today we're going to be digging into what's your legacy? What kind of story are you creating with your life? Let's go ahead and dive into what to expect for today's Yoga Pep Talk. I want to respect your time and mine. So we're going to be on the ground for most of the work. We'll be in seated or kneeling position. So just have a nice sturdy surface, maybe a little bit of cushion. You can always have a yoga mat or a blanket or a towel underneath you. Just give you a little bit of support. Ideally something that's not slipping and sliding. The number one thing at coffee chats and yoga mats I want you to remember and to remind you regularly, because it's so important, is that you are God's beloved. Your life matters. You can live intentionally. And what that looks like for you can totally vary. I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert at this. And heck, I'm not even an expert at this question about what kind of story are you leading with your life. But I think it's important to dig into and start thinking about, no matter where we are on the spectrum of our ages and experience. So we're going to go ahead and dive into some big deep breaths, and then we'll move on from there. So sitting up nice and tall, I'm kneeling. You can do the same thing. We're going to bring our hands together, go to a classic prayer position, and breathing in and breathing out. So I'm going to do a little talking before then, but you can go ahead and start breathing if you want. So anytime you inhale, you can imagine your stomach is a sponge and it's filling up with air. And then when you exhale, you squeeze out all that air in your stomach, that sponge. So we'll take about 4 big deep breaths here. As you breathe in, let's do it for real. I'd love for you to focus on, I am God's beloved. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, focusing on that truth. I am God's beloved. Let it fill your body like the air filling in your tummy. Exhale, breathing in, I am God's beloved. Exhale, relax into it. Let's take one more big deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale, beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and release. We're gonna move into blind pose. It's a really great way to open up our face and wake up. So we're gonna go ahead and, I think you can see, just a little bit, yeah. So we're gonna do a little bonus stretch. So you're stretching your toes underneath your heel. I can't speak right. You're just curling your toes under. And I'm gonna angle just a little bit. You bring your paws up, let's see you roar. You're gonna bug out your eyes and stick out your tongue. You're God's creation, it's a beautiful thing. Let's take a few big deep breaths here. Opening up your eyes, sticking out your tongue. And release, beautiful. Feels a little awkward, and that's okay, that's good. So let's go and move into some wrist stretches, and we'll do some balancing the cat. So we're gonna go ahead and get on all fours. We're gonna rotate a hand down. You can always stay kneeling if that works better for you. Just gently placing that hand on the ground. You can always place the other hand just the normal way, so to speak. Breathing in and breathing out, relaxing your body. You're gonna feel some tension right along your wrist. That's totally normal. And in fact, it's a sign it's really good to loosen it up. If your hand feels a little too tight, you can always rotate it so you're going in sideways. So I'm gonna rotate back. Let's take about 3 big deep breaths here, breathing in and breathing out. So the basic idea I wanna pick your brain about and think about while you're yogiing it up is thinking about if someone could read the book of your life years down the road, what themes would they see in that book? What would stand out to them? What would they remember? And let's go ahead and shake out the wrist. And switch. We're gonna rotate the other hand. Hand down. And like before, you can't see my hand completely. I can't figure out the right way. So you can always turn your hand sideways if that's more gentle. Or pointing it toward your knees. Do what works best for you. Breathing in and breathing out. So like I mentioned, think about that. If someone's gonna read the book of your life, what would they see? And then the exciting thing to think about is, what would you want them to see in that book of your life? Would they want to be surprised, in awe, the compassion you had, the intelligence? Whatever that is, what would you like them to see? Breathing in and breathing out. Excellent. Okay, let's do a little bounce in the cat too. So since we're on hands and knees, you can always shake out your wrists if they're a little tight. Knees are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart. All right, you got it. That's as far. If you want to stay there, you can. Let's go ahead and do bounce in the cat. We're going to extend one leg out. Pick your favorite leg of the moment. Breathing in and breathing out. We'll take about 4 big deep breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. So we know that everyone has their own opinions and perspectives, and they're going to see things they want to see them. But you do have some control, you have some autonomy over what you choose to do with your life, how you decide to live it. So the big question I want to ask you is, what changes would you need to make to leave the kind of legacy you long to leave? It's kind of a mouthful. I'm not saying you're gonna get it perfect by any means. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's go and do a little bow. We're gonna bend the back leg. You can stay right there. Or you can reach the opposite arm. Don't do the same side arm, it won't work very well. You can place your hand on your hip if that works well. Or you can bring the hand back. Do what works best for you. You're opening up your body. Isn't this true though? You gotta make some changes in your life. Sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels a bit strange. Much like yoga. Breathing in and breathing out. One more big deep breath here. And gently release. All right, let's change sides. We're gonna bring the other leg out, nice and long. I like to imagine someone is pulling my ankle out behind me, breathing in and breathing out. Nice. So for instance, for me, when I think about legacies, I wrote about this because I'm crazy passionate about it, maybe a little bit obsessed, is for my son, I really want him to learn conflict resolution because it's something I'm not good at. And that's something I know I need to grow in. But I want him to have those skills to know how to navigate that in a healthy way. Let's go and bend that back leg. You can stay right there. Or you can bring your hand on your hip, or you can bring it behind. Breathing in and breathing out. And it may not be the sexiest thing to see, oh, they were great at conflict resolution. But thinking about how much would that help with relationship issues and struggles and just learning how to be healthy, where people can walk away from the conflicts you have, because welcome to life, in a way that, wow, that wasn't as horrible as it could have been. I actually could be a better person because of this. Breathing in and breathing out. One more big deep breath. I get a little excited about it. And gently release. All right, we're gonna do a modified archer. I think it's way fun. So you're gonna bring one foot up, a lunge pose. So your knees right above your ankle, nice and tall, square. You can imagine you could slide a box right underneath there. And we're gonna do the archer. So we're gonna bring one arm out. You're pulling a bow and an arrow, nice and light. You gaze at that goal, gaze at that prize. Breathing in and breathing out. So thinking about that story, you're launching into the future with each choice you make each day. Just think about what's a small change you could make. So for instance, for me with conflict resolution, one thing would be being more proactive about talking about challenges and issues as they come up. Not in a, you suck, you broke my heart, but in a, you know, this matters, this relationship matters. So what can I do to start mending the bridge or communicating boundaries or whatever those may be? Let's go and gently release. Let's do a little leg stretch while we're here. So you're gonna lean back, you can lift the heel. So you're just flexing that bottom foot. It's a powerful stretch. If you want, you can walk down. If that's too much, that's okay. Always, always modify. So finding your sweet spot, breathing in and breathing out. Oh, that feels so good. One more big deep breath. And gently release. Okay, let's switch sides. We're gonna bring the other knee up. Nice and square, you're keeping the knee right above your ankle. I'm gonna move over just a smidgen so you can see over the foot. Breathing in and breathing out. You can stay right there. That's also a really good stretch. You're opening up your thigh. I'm gonna do it the opposite way so I can still keep facing you. But in the meantime, you typically would switch your arms. Breathing in and breathing out. Excellent. Breathing in and breathing out. To me, that's the exciting part if you think about it. You can leave a crazy big impact with your life, a life you're proud of, by making small changes. Deciding I'm going to conquer this one little thing. I'm going to practice that muscle. I'm going to strengthen it, much like yoga. It's a practice. I'm going to show up and keep trying. And when I don't show up, that's okay. There's always another day. There's always another moment. I can always come back. Breathing in and breathing out. And gently release. Woo, doesn't feel so good. All right, so let's go ahead and sit nice and tall. We'll see how much screen I don't want to jostle the camera around and make anyone nauseous. We're gonna do just 5 roll-ups and then we'll move on from there with some big deep breaths and we'll call it a day. Sitting up nice and tall. Arms go out, we're gonna slowly scoop and hollow. You're slowly rolling your body down, one vertebrae at a time. Breathing in, and then we're gonna slowly roll back up. You can always place your hands right along your thighs and gently slide up. You're zipping your belly button toward your spine. Breathing in and breathing out. Much like a roll up, little micro changes. One slow vertebrae at a time makes a big difference with strengthening your core. Breathing in and breathing out. Rolling down nice and smooth. Rolling up. All right, that was 3. If you don't watch it, I get all excited and do more than that. Rolling down. You're scooping, going as far as your body lets you go. Rolling back up, nice and smooth, shoulders relaxed. Last one. Breathing in. As you scoop down, you're exhaling. Take a little breath and roll back up. A good rule of thumb is when you're squeezing your body, that's when you exhale. Lifting up. All right, let's go ahead and set up nice and tall. You can bring your feet into crisscross if that works well for you. Rolling your shoulders back. Hands together. Let's take a few big deep breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, like we started, let's focus on breathing in, on I am God's beloved, because that is so mind-blowingly true. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhaling, focusing on that simple truth, letting it flood your body. Filling your chest, your stomach, your legs, your arms, your head, and 2 more big deep breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more big deep breath here. Breathing out. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and take a break, relax. And I just want to wrap up with reminding you, I am not an expert about leading, how to live the most amazing life ever. And that's really not the goal. The real goal is to live like you are God's beloved, because you are, and that's wonderful. And learning to live that way each day, that's exciting, and daunting. But the thing is, God loves you anyway, even when you don't feel like you're telling the kind of story you want to tell. But through Him, you can, because you are God's workmanship, created through Christ Jesus to do good works, which He prepared in advance for you. For you. Isn't that amazing? So thank you for joining me for the Pep Talk. I look forward to joining you again in the future, and definitely check out the blog post. There's a bit more about it. Kind of go on a ramble, because I think it's super important to think about the kind of story you're leaving. But really, it's up to you what you want that to be. Regardless, you are God's beloved. Your life matters, and you can live intentionally. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.